Today I picked my first bucket of elderberries, a 5-gallon bucket full, probably about 20 pounds. This will be heading into a batch of wine I'm going to start soon. First I must start cleaning them. The next step in this process is we have to wash them and then remove the berries from the stem. Okay, you do this using rubber gloves because this stuff will stain you up pretty good and you'll have purple fingers for a long time after. Here we are a couple days later. I put a couple bags. I put about 15 pounds of elderberries in the freezer that I picked the other day to keep them from going bad and fermenting. Got the fermenter all sanitized and the equipment that I'm going to need. And got another 10 pounds of elderberries in the bottom of my pot, which I'm going to start to cook down a little bit to get the juice out of them. First I put this nylon bag in my fermenting bucket to actually capture all the skins and pits and whatnot so I can pull them out easily at the end. Just about got the first batch mashed up. Then what we're going to do, bring it right over here and dump it in the fermenting bucket into the nylon bag. Make sure you wear old clothes for this will make a mess. So here we have the 25 pounds all crushed down into juice. It looks like, looking at the mark on the container, that we're right at about the 3-gallon level. So I guess I'll have to heat up about another 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons of water to mix in there to make a batch. Got my 2 gallons, a little over 2 gallons of tap water in there, boiling, getting ready to bring up to a boil. I like to boil it and let it cool to try and get rid of any bacteria or anything that may be in it before adding it to the wine. Don't know if it's the right thing to do or not, but I'm trying it that way. Well, I'm bringing this water up to a boil. Guess I'll throw in about 5 pounds of my sugar. Get a starting point. Mix that in and then we'll check the Brix level after it's mixed together and see how much more we have to add. The juice has been added and I filled up my wine thief here with a little bit of the juice. Got my hydrometer in and it looks like it's running where it can go up to about 7% right now. We've got to add a little bit more sugar and check it again. Alright, we added another 5 pounds of sugar. So let's test it again. We get a sample here. Alright, looks like we're up to about a 1.1, about a 25 Brix. That should give us about a 14-15% alcohol. That was what I was kind of looking for, so I'll leave it right there. Now I'm just going to take this jelly bag and tie it up, tie it closed so that the seeds and skins stay in there. And I'm just going to throw that right into the container and let that ferment with everything else. Alright, lastly I'm going to take and add some of these sulfates to the must to kill any yeast that may be, any natural yeast that may be in it. So I add a 1/4 teaspoon to that. I'll stir it in and then let this sit 24 hours with a towel over it. Here you have it. This is day 1 of putting the batch of wine together. And we'll let it sit for the sulfates to evaporate out. And then we'll work on putting the yeast in tomorrow. Okay, this is set covered for 24 hours now. Remove the cover. I tested it for the acid using a basic acid testing kit and found out that I had to add 1 teaspoon of this tartaric acid to balance the pH in the acid. Next I'm going to add some yeast nutrient to give the yeast something to get going on. And yeast nutrient. Number 5. One more. Number 6. Alright, let me give that a little stir with a sterilized spoon. I'm gonna try this Red Star yeast. I don't know how good it'll be, but I'll soon find out. I think it goes up to about 14%, so that should handle the alcohol level I'm looking for. I'm going to first dissolve it in a 1/4 cup of hot water. I added the yeast to a little bit of 100-degree water to get that going. And now I'm just going to pour it in over the top of the must. Okay, next I'm gonna just snap on the top. I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but I usually do this and then just put airlock in it and let it sit for a couple days to get 24 hours later, and that thing's bubbling pretty good right now. Looks like we got a good fermentation going. After fermenting in the bucket for 5 days, it's ready to transfer off into a secondary and take the skins and whatnot out. So set up, I've got the fermenting bucket, and then I'm going to run it through a strainer into a 6-gallon carboy. Here we go. And there we have it, all moved into the secondary 6-gallon fermenter. That let that sit for about another 6 weeks. Next, I'm just going to place it in a dark room with a towel around it to keep light out, and just let it continue to ferment for a couple more weeks and then rack it off. One of the worst things about making this elderberry wine is the cleanup. There's this yellow sticky stuff inside the fermenter and on everything that it touched. That's just about impossible to get off with soap. The only thing that I found that works so far is a little bit of vegetable oil, and it loosens it up and then can be washed off.